We appreciate so much time here on this event, and we do this at 6 different stops around the state, from Lansing to Marquette, believe it or not. And yeah, I've had the bridge closed behind me several occasions coming back. So that's always a challenge, but we like to give every 6 months this Michigan Future Business Index report around the state as best we can. And this is a great venue in which to do that, so we appreciate the opportunity. Mike Steifel's in the back from the Michigan Business Network. Be careful where you scratch, because we make a lot of money on outtakes. The other thing to remember is you can always go on the Michigan Business Network website or the app and get this thing in entirety. What we're going to do is condense this into about 10 minutes. And it gives you a pretty good picture of not only what we've been doing in the last 6 months, how we've been performing from a business standpoint, but what we anticipate. And the anticipation is really important because, as you know, enthusiasm in a company about the next 6 months can cause them hiring and doing a lot of things that they wouldn't if they were going to pull back a little bit. So, Michigan Future Business Index, we want to thank the Accident Fund Insurance Company. They've underwritten this thing for the last 15 years plus, and it's been around in some form for about 25 years. So, we can move the first one. This is going to be one of those, share what we're going to tell you, then remember to tell you what we told you. Key takeaways from this whole, as I say, condensed Michigan Future Business Index. Economic satisfaction remains very high, but over the last 6 months, profit, sales, and hiring slowed a little bit. Not appreciably, but a little bit. It's an indicator. Small business leaders remain optimistic for the next 6 months, so their projections are better than the last 6 months' performance. Future sales profits holding steady compared to 1 year ago, but hiring projections indicate a pullback. And we'll talk about that a little bit, because that's got to be everybody in the room's biggest challenge. Acquiring talent and health insurance costs dominate the list of the top challenges for small business. Similar to previous MFBIs, but I will qualify it by saying health insurance actually slid down to about number 5 a couple of years ago. There was a time when it was number 1. Now it's popping up again with new insurance rates. And we also asked this question for the first time: trade policies and tariffs are creating a considerable drag on growth, while the recent tax cuts really haven't made much of a difference, as you can see. All right, past 6 months, that's what we're going to look at right now, what we've been measuring. Growth in only wages and investments has increased since November, since a year ago. So this was out on the street early November and completed the end of November. Growth in all other indicators has decreased. Now, not a tremendous amount, but things like hiring, sales, and profits, all indicators are down since June. Wage growth is up 2 points, from 46 to 48%. Those are people who say they're going to hire. Investment growth up 2 points. So people who have invested in things, they're going to invest again. Hiring down 8 points. That's a dual function there. One is there aren't many people to hire, and I think you've seen that in your quest to get good talent. And the other is those who are good, there are 85 people in line. Remember when you used to post a job and 2,000 people showed up? Well, now it's the other way around. 2,000 employers are showing up to get that one person who might apply. Sales growth down 9 points. This is what's been happening over the last 6 months. 9 points is reasonably appreciable. Profit growth is down 6 points. So though their sales were off, their profits weren't down quite as much, maybe half as much. Satisfaction with the economy. This is a very important one. So now we're kind of measuring ahead a little bit. Strong satisfaction with the economy, holding steady. More than 9 in 10, 82% are satisfied. So that's a pretty good enthusiasm level. Of interest, you can see satisfaction intensity increases since last June. So this is one of the things that went up. 18% say that they're dissatisfied with the economy. That's up 4%, so on the bottom end. Now look at the last line. Satisfaction is strongest in West Michigan and Metro Detroit, and the lowest in this region and the Upper Peninsula. So get enthused. All right, this is one of my favorite questions. It is, what are your greatest challenges? Because this is where you see businesses have to spend their time. First one, acquiring talent. Is there anyone here who has all the people they want? Yeah, that's exactly right. And when I get in front of a group like this, there's always somebody in the audience who has had 3 positions open for 2 years. That would have never existed. And if you've got good people, well, we'll tell you how to retain them, because you're going to have to. Cost of health insurance again pops up. This is the 3rd one in a row where it's been in the top 2 or 3. Finding customers, that's always an ongoing quest, I guess, of all businesses, but you can see it's up 10 points. So they're saying it's a bigger problem right now than it's been for a while. Retaining talent, that used to be number 2. Acquiring talent was number 1. Retaining it was number 2 because everybody wanted it. Taxes, just for point of information, taxes and regulatory legislation has been in the top 10 since 1776. Nothing new there. Poor infrastructure, all right? Fix the damn roads, right? You had my good friend, the governor here. We do, and infrastructure is affecting us. Wage inflation is another thing. How do you keep people? You give them raises, you give them more benefits, etc. The more you do that, the more we have wage inflation, and that's where you see sometimes even when sales revenue is projected highly, maybe profits aren't, because some of it's going here. Retaining customers, access to capital, these are interesting things. I can remember not all that long ago when access to capital was number 1. Number 1, we went to the banks had the money, but we were pretty tightly regulated in those days, and you couldn't get it. All right. Sales and profit projections, you can see profits and sales are up slightly over the 4th quarter in 18, so a year ago. Projected profits growth at 52%, that's up from 49. So they're projecting that we're going to get profits back in line, back up where they should be. They're projecting sales growth at 60%. 60%, this means 60% of them are saying we're projecting sales growth. Expectations for decreases in sales is only at 7%, profits at 11%, that's a pretty low number. So people are feeling pretty good. Expectations for increased sales are highest in this area. Just since 2 slides ago, you guys adjusted your attitudes. That's awesome. Good response. And of course, northern lower Michigan. Expectations for increased profits are highest in the UP and lowest in the northern lower Michigan area. And expectations for sales growth highest in retail when you're looking at industry and insurance and finance. Anybody know an insurance company who's not doing well? Okay. Projected talent demand remains very strong. Hiring expectations are softening slightly. 38% say they plan to hire more employees over the next 6 months, down 3 points, but nearly 6 of 10 will maintain. So when you put those 2 numbers together, you've got right around 90% of the workforce is going to remain as it is or get a little larger. Only 4% say that they plan to lay off employees. Hiring projections are highest in the Lansing market, in the UP, lowest in northern Michigan, and you're talking about manufacturing. Manufacturing's been leading the way in needing people for quite a while. Most likely, they're going to be hiring at 46 in the business and professional services. Filling open positions remains very difficult. 53% say they're having difficulty filling jobs. How many people out here right now have a job that needs to be filled in your organization? Yeah, see, that's a pretty high percentage, even though it looks like about a third. 72% of those are actively searching for talent, and they're having difficulty. That's up 8 points since the 4th quarter of 18. 57% attribute that difficulty to a lack of qualified applicants. So I think we're looking at a lot of different programs right now that will help you get new people I know AARP, and I know this because I started, it's called Experience for Hire. It's bringing workers back on 20-hour shifts or 15 or whatever. And there's a lot of other manufacturers, et cetera, who are going out into the schools, recruiting, et cetera. 49% say that they have positions remaining open. So that's good call. Just over 4 in 10, well, actually quite a bit over 4 in 10, plan to raise wages in the next 6 months. Well, what do you know about your good employees? The person sitting next to you wants them, right? So you got to do some defensive stuff. Well, one of those is to give somewhat of a raise. Nearly half will not increase wages in the next 6 months, but they are looking at creative ways to keep people. Only 1% plan to reduce wages, so there's going to be a little pot of people that are going to be available. Projections for wage growth are strongest in Lansing and in the manufacturing construction sector. Majority, 58%, plan to invest in employee training. That is one great way to keep people. Keep them busy, keep them trained, keep them up to date on the most current things that are happening in their marketplace. They become more satisfied, more vested in your team. Majority will invest in advertising. That is up 2 points. And just over 1/4 plan to invest in new equipment. So that shows an enthusiasm for moving forward. 1/3 plan to add a new product line or a service. So that's also looking at things and saying they look pretty good. So what did we say? Satisfaction with the economy remains very strong. There are indications of weakening on the micro level, slower sales, lower profits, a slowdown in hiring, but I think most of that is availability. Health insurance costs are, again, a top challenge in doing business, along with getting that talent, obviously. And there are indications that the tariffs, again, are creating kind of a drag on the economy. Negative impact of those tariffs is increasing a little bit. Anybody in here affected by the tariffs at all? You may be and not realize it, but in some way we kind of all are. Okay, I was given 10 minutes. That's 9 minutes and 46 seconds. Before I get the hook over here, I want to thank you again. I'll hang around for a little while if anybody has any questions, but you can go on the Michigan Business Network website and get this thing in entirety. And thank you all for your attention. I appreciate it.